There's no way that woke is dead. This has to be a lie.
When it comes to the subject matter of this video, I have many feelings. On the one hand, I feel vindication. On the other hand, I feel deep frustration for reasons that'll be very obvious in just a second. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you know for years I've been calling out DEI and wokeness and the negative impact that has had on multiple industries and mediums. And all throughout that, I've been pointing out the performative nature of all of this and how it is a gigantic agenda push, largely due to the efforts of very powerful individuals and entities out there. Well, that's been called a conspiracy theory or...
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
Hateful or bigoted, what have you, for many years, being able to point that out. But as with many things these days, it wasn't some conspiracy, it was just truth a couple months early or a couple years early. Because the CEO of BlackRock, one of the, probably the biggest proponent and pusher of DEI and wokeness across the world, has come out and just straight up admitted that the woke era we've been living under for the past couple of years was a failed corporate experiment. And now they're trying to pivot to something else while acting like nothing has happened.
Later,
Let's listen to this clip together.
Do you believe the woke era a failed experiment? The ESG, the DEI,
What is your profession?
the kind of things now you talk in a practical sense, what we can do, what we can get done. Looking back at that, how do you see it?
Society moves, the pendulum moves all the time. In BlackRock's cases, you know, we are responsible for managing money for everybody. And even today, as you said, maybe these, you know, renewables are less talked about it. I can tell you right now, we have many investors worldwide are investing in renewables, trying to emphasize solar and other things like that. They're trying to.
Nope, it's not dead when you got liberal guys with mustaches calling everyone a grifter. Yeah, exactly, Iron.
Texas right now. So, do I believe the pendulum 5 years ago was too far? Yes.
You do?
I believe we're more you know, I'm personally more pragmatic too. And I believe...
But do you think BlackRock pushed some companies a little bit further left than you thought?
It was never our intention, because our job is to be... I got to be a fiduciary to everybody who gives us money.
So there you have it, folks. The CEO of BlackRock, the biggest pusher of all this stuff, just straight up admits this was all just a failed corporate experiment. And now the pendulum is shifting another direction, and they're just moving on from all of that. Acting like, well, you have nothing to be mad about. This is just the changing of the times. Oopsie whoopsie.
So what? Putting our economy in the shithole so that you could have your little political venture? Really? It was a failed experiment, huh? You know how many businesses have permanently shut down because of this shit? Hundreds. And y'all let this fucking idiot control all the money for it.
We ruined all these lives and ruined all these mediums, but who cares? We're moving on, and we're just going to keep making more money. That is the reality we live in, and I genuinely believe people like Larry Fink are evil, and I don't throw that term around very often. This guy is evil. You can play the rest of this clip. He just drones on for another minute or so, just going...
Larry Fink is one of the most evil political proprietors on the face of the earth. I think that Larry Finkel should be, you know, investigated because of how much he dragged us into debt with all of his bullshit that he passed from BlackRock. I don't think that BlackRock should be a subsidiary of the federal government anymore. I think they need to go away. It needs to go. I don't want people investing in this fucking idiot anymore. But on the opposite of that, you have people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, even Elon Musk, putting money. Well, I don't know if Elon's done it, but you have a lot of high-profile people that have put money into this company. A lot of evil fucks with nothing but time and money on their hands. And they all gave that money to him to push a proper agenda. Think about how many games this guy's destroyed due to DEI that actually had a good concept to him. Sweet Baby Inc., his creation, literally funded by them. So every single time that you guys have gotten a game with Sweet Baby Inc. in it, it's because this guy wanted it. Think about that for a second. See, Rev's being nice, and he doesn't want to call people evil, but I will definitely call this fucker evil. Notice how every evil asshole in today's world is some old boomer-looking fuck that, you know, hasn't seen the modern era yet. Has anybody noticed that? Because I've fucking noticed. You guys remember back in the day when I used to get pissed off at Neven for calling me a boomer? Because in America, that's what a fucking boomer looks like. Some evil dirtbag with a shit ton of money. And I am not that.
In circles, saying a whole lot of words, but very little substance. At the end of the day, this guy just admits
their own
that
protest
he's been
for no
using
kings, like someone explained that to me.
People
Yeah, I know,
and
right?
Industries to push an agenda that now is
Don't worry, I'm
recognized
probably
as
going to watch a video
corporate
on that.
Experiment gone wrong. Let's look at some of the comments here, and I will expand on the main points. Here's a quote from Endymion saying this. BlackRock CEO admits the woke era was a mistake, and everyone who played into it was manipulated. Every website, every person. It was never genuine, actual truth bomb, dude. Every push of DEI and all that was carefully constructed to fit narratives. I got called so many names for pushing back, and now the guy who started it is like, yeah, we screwed up. Unreal, dude. So much damage has to be undone from this. So many game companies alone still clinging to this BS knowing it won't work.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And that is the key takeaway here. These people are brainwashed. The people who fell for this, whether it's in the gaming industry or elsewhere, they are indoctrinated by this stuff. I think it began with a personal agenda. They want to use these points to enforce their own agenda. They want to use DEI to push their own agenda and to feel in some way emboldened.
There is no way that I will live in New York. I will never, ever, ever. I won't even vacation in New York City as long as that fucker's mayor. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I won't go anywhere that I can't conceal carry. Okay? And it's extremely difficult to conceal carry in New York City. So I won't ever go there. I'm sorry. There's too many people getting shoved into onto subway tracks, getting knifed on buses, getting lit on fire. Mondani's got no clue what he's doing. He's exactly like that, He's exactly like AOC. I don't know why New York City keeps on hiring these people or getting them into political power when they have no idea what they're doing. New York's GDP has gone down a rough 12% since he's taken over. He's not bringing any commerce to New York City. He's not doing anything with it. He's turning it into the communist state of the United States.
To go after anybody who questions it or has a different point of view than them. We have seen this, but now they're stuck in this stuff. And the CEO can come out and say this was all a failed corporate experiment, and they're not going to be listening because they're too far gone.
I don't care that it's over. The world was telling him that it wasn't working, and now he decides in 2026, the third month into 2026, mind you, that we went through the entirety of COVID when this started. We went through the whole entire Trump... Well, we went through half of the Trump era with this. We moved on and went through the entire Biden administration with it. And then we get 2.5 years into Trump's second term, and now he wants to turn it off. This man has so many times, Chad, to fix this problem, and he chose not to. It's really, really dumb.
At this point. And yeah, people like myself who have been calling out DEI and all of this stuff and how performative and ridiculous it is, Yeah,
Paid
we got
over by a
called
lump
every
sum,
name
Muslim
under the
Brotherhood,
sun,
and global
right? People
socialists
literally
funded by
try to
the rich
ruin
fucks
you
like
for
Fick
calling this stuff
and
out.
Soros are
And
going
now
down,
he's just like,
they're not going down without a
oopsie
fight.
whoopsie,
Yep.
let's move on.
That's true.
So many people have been
I
made
agree.
a fool out of this. They were literal pawns, completely manipulated, whether it's websites, people, corporations. It's all a part of this scheme that is just right in your face. And here's a reply to that previous post saying, you now have millions of incompetents employed in major roles across every industry who can't do the job, yet their existence depends on DEI. They will continue to push it and fight for it no matter what now. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. They get paid to push it. And that is definitely true. There are endless people who only have their position at their current job because of DEI, because they chose identity as a priority over competence. And we've seen people...
I'll give you an actual example, and one of the reasons that I hate my job right now. My boss's boss had absolutely nothing to do with the industry whatsoever in fuel. Okay? Absolutely nothing. Has no background in it. Nothing whatsoever. Instead of starting this lady at the bottom and working her way up like me, she instantly got the whole entire, she's in charge of all of southern Utah when it comes to fuel logistics. And she got that right off her rip. And she's got no idea what she's doing either. You have no idea how many times I have to fix somebody else's mistake in a day because this woman approves it, having no idea the damage that she's done. The thing that I was talking about the other day, why I was late getting on the stream, was because I was fixing a mistake that she approved. Yeah. And it took me 2 hours to fix that mistake, and being constantly hounded by a client all fucking day. All because somebody higher up than me approved a shipping manifest that was not meant to be approved. Yeah. It's already done and dusted. Even fuel companies like the one I work for are even doing this. It's stupid.
Literally die because of this. This isn't just, oh, geez, people are losing out on jobs who are more qualified. No, people are put in trusted positions where people are literally losing their lives due to incompetent hires who are only there because of their identity. This was stuff that was pushed on everyone
you are right.
for years across the globe. I mean, I talked about this Cody, with the California wildfires where some of the fire departments came out and talked about their DEI programs where they spent millions trying to hire people who look like the victims of fires. And of course, you had people who would just straight up admitted they couldn't even carry someone out of a burning fire who were hired only because of their identity. This stuff is deadly. And back then, I remember getting attacked for saying, hey, every million you spent towards that.
Back in the day when I was a jailer, we did one DEI hire in the sheriff's department and one only. He was a 19-year-old freaking kid, black kid, by the way, because our department was 90% white. And he got hired solely based on race. You want to know how I know that? Because he got fast-tracked through the academy and he got shoved into our department by the state of Kentucky and the governor of Kentucky. You know what he did within his first 3 weeks of being in the jail? He went out and he got cell phones for the inmates. He got them McDonald's. He got them all kinds of other crap. He got them alcohol. And guess what? He ended up getting charged with 4 crimes of, bringing outside stuff into the jail, which is a felony for each count, by the way. And then not even 2 weeks later, we got a female who was, again, rushed through, but unbeknownst to my sheriff's knowledge, she was rushed through the academy yet again, shoved into the jail, because there's no way that you don't start doing street duties until you at least do a year in the jail, okay? And she ended up bringing meth and heroin into the jail for the inmates. She's serving 22 years because of the weight that she brought into the jail. Both DEI hires that happened while I was a deputy jailer, complete and total bullshit. Both of them got arrested, and both of them are sitting in prison right now with felonies. So congratulations to DEI in proving that you're really great at something, which you're not. If I were a DEI hire, I'd do the best at said job. If I was told, never mind the bigots, I would disregard my superiors because I don't want to be a liability. It's not about that. What gets me, Cody, is remember the former head of the FBI used to be a Pepsi CEO that was a woman. Yeah, I know, Iron. I know. This makes me think about regimes that use death by labor as a sentence, life sentence, 12 to 18-hour shifts in the harshest conditions. It felt like it there during the opening part of COVID when I was still in the jail before I got street duties, but it really did. It really felt like that. But DEI is a no-go in jobs where you could die. You can't have DEI in jobs where you have to deal with crime and the fact that you could possibly wake up and die that day. It doesn't work. You can't have lazy people that are unmotivated in those kinds of job environments.
If it was transferred somewhere else and it saved even one life, that would have been worth it. People thought that was very bigoted. That's how crazy and far gone all this stuff is. But here's another quote saying, let me get this straight. The folks on the far left who kept yapping about taxing the rich, eating lab-grown, grass-flavored like meat, rainbow flags in our nurseries and primary schools, pro-migration, forcing geopolitics and modern-day sexual orientations into our video games, and plastering DEI in every workspace imaginable, were being manipulated and controlled by the rich. Yeah, anybody who's not been experiencing life with blinders on knows the truth of this statement. This is the upside down world we've been experiencing the last couple of years. And the effects, like I said, it's not just the gaming industry, it's everything. It's the education system, it's corporate, America corporate, global, everything. Everything that could possibly be touched by this has been touched in one form or another, and it's all been for the negative.
Yep.
Here's another quote, translated from Spanish. This post really went worldwide, guys, by the way. All of those who thought they were anti-establishment revolutionaries for being woke and spending the day hassling people turned out to be getting used as puppets by BlackRock.
Yep.
Yes. Literally millions of people fit under this description. They think they are anti-establishment revolutionaries by pushing all this nonsense for years.
Yep.
Turns out they're just puppets of a massive, massive, massive corporation. Here's another quote saying,
You want to know what's really shitty, chat? You're currently watching a stream by a company that also invests in BlackRock. Yep. Amazon and Twitch do it. They invest. Jeff Bezos has invested money in BlackRock as a company, as a shareholder. So is Kick. The only one who hasn't done it is Rumble, which is why they can get away with so much shit. I'm happy Epic City in Plano, Texas is not expanding anymore. They are running an unlicensed funeral home for their Muslim population. I'm glad Texas is fighting back the Islamic horde. It was eventually going to happen. DEI for Las Vegas brothels. Jesus. I mean, while I qualify as a DEI hire, I'd probably be fired for having an open mind. Then you're not a DEI hire. A DEI hire follows a specific role and just listens to what they're told, even if it's morally wrong. And it's based on race, sex, gender, or anything else that a liberal can come up with. You know what the saddest part of this is? They won't learn a damn thing, or their children and grandchildren will be puppeted fucks too. That's true. Look at the last two TwitchCons. There's been SA at both of them. And let's just face it, our good old boy Danny at the helm, the good old CEO, he didn't do jack nor shit about either one of them. And he's the one urging Jeff Bezos for profits to go into BlackRock. So, yep, there you go.
People learning that their entire political ideology was a scheme thought up and created by billionaires they hate. Can't make this stuff up. Yeah, here's the thing. This stuff is so indoctrinated that at this point, I believe it goes beyond just an ideology or an agenda for these people. The people who have been used as pawns for this and have supported this stuff, it's basically a religion to them at this point. It has consumed every aspect of their life. They depend on this to be real. They depend on this stuff to be pushed. Otherwise, they have nothing. They get hired because of their identity.
Think about how many liberals are on X. Think about that for a minute. Think about how many guppies actually believing this. And they've been shitting on us, putting death threats on us. All of that. All because we saw through the bullshit, guys. We're in a fight that started in Russia. Reddit, Discord, Blue Sky, the diverse socialists who boast about running the internet. Oh yes, we have Vladimir and Adari will debut soon. We're in a fight that started in Russia. Cody, just think about the Saba singing. It'll be okay. I know, Iron. It's just really ridiculously sad that all of us, quote-unquote, chuds, took the shit that we did, fought through cancel culture I don't know how many times, and it turns out everything that these libtards believed in is a fake and a phony controlled by some elderly gentleman named Larry Fink. The very thing that you thought that you were fighting against was the one controlling you the entire time. Because you're retards. So congratulations, liberals. You guys took the cake in being the world's biggest guppy sucker losers on the planet. So congratulations. Yuri Bleneskov was right. Well, dude, I'm not even going to go into communism. I'm just happy that liberals can finally wake up and see, with physical evidence coming out of this old fuck boomer's mouth, that it was all a ploy. Because that's essentially what he's saying. And they fell for it. Surprise, it was a white man running an entire ideology. Yeah, that's what we were trying to tell everybody. Soros? That guy's the most evil fucker on the face of the earth. 2008 housing crisis? The debt that was caused because of it? That man owns a fourth of that debt. What's even worse is that he tanked 3 banks in order to make a shit ton of money off of it and just walked away. He had to beg the Fed to make him not greedy anymore. Think about that for a second. Him and his son Alex too. Yeah, I know, his son's not any fucking better. The whole entire point is that people who do make money have to stop investing in these places because that's how you destroy them. That's how you end it. You want to end people like Larry Fink? Stop investing in companies that are run by these little boomer losers that just think about greed. The last rich scammer we nuked was Bernie Madoff. We gotta wake up, guys. We gotta wake up, chat. There's no way around it. What's the random censoring Cody? I wasn't swearing. No, that wasn't me, Iron. That was Twitch. Ask people in Southeast Asia about Soros and the 97 financial crisis. I've met Thai Buddhists who didn't fit the Nazi profile despite the swastika. But bring up Soros. You'll feel like you're at an Asian Hamas rally. Ugh, then I don't want to watch that, man. I don't want to watch that, bro. Larry Fink DEI Automod censored you. Yep. Hello, what up, Reaper? How you doing, buddy?
Hi, how are you?
Identity. Or they use this sort of woke era we've been living under to justify harassing people who have done nothing wrong.
Yep.
To force their morals and their their beliefs onto other people and be able to label them as other in order to justify anything bad that happens to them for questioning DEI or wokeness. Let's move on to another translated post saying, I love the silence of feminists after finding out that all their policies and struggles over diversity, gender, and rights were funded by BlackRock's billionaire patriarchy. They thought that bearing their tops because they wanted to and leaving their bodies untrimmed because they were fighters, and it turns out their boss was Larry Fink. I'm crying from laughter. The amount of useful idiots out there is staggering, ladies and gentlemen. But here's one more. It really pisses me off that I lost all of my closest friends due to the far left.
Like, they don't want to go after people for following the Torah. They want to go after the Bolshevik and the banker type that works hand in hand. I don't know. That sounds kind of glowy, Fregoth. That sounds a tad bit glowy. I only know this. The whole entire perspective of the economy in this country needs to change. And it needs to have more people like Trump at the head. Because Trump's been fighting these people for the better half of the last 8 years. Literally. He's been sitting there, been our body armor this whole entire freaking time, except for Biden. And it all started with Obama. Obama separated the rich from the poor in ways you guys cannot possibly imagine when he let the 2008 housing crisis happen. See, instead of letting these companies and banks die like they should have, Obama let the Fed save all of them. And now look at where we are. Just food for thought, chat.
Social justice moral bundle of sticking, and evil elites like this guy who are responsible. Their entire political ideology was a scheme devised and funded by the very billionaires they hate. The amount of people, like, I'll ask you, the viewer, have you lost friendships or connections over the last couple of years because of stuff like this?
Yeah, I have. Early part of my streaming career. When I first became a VTuber. I lost 8 of my friends over this bullshit. People that I thought were awesome. And then they just stabbed me in the back and left me out in the cold. And they all believed the same bullshit. Except for maybe 1 or 2 of them. So, good luck to them.
Because you're not cool with DEI, or you think it's performative or wokeness, if you call that out or think it's performative, have you lost friendships? I mean, you know, the subject of grifting even comes up when it comes to content creators. Do you think being anti-woke is some masterful grift? I'll tell you it's not. I get called a grifter every single day. This is the worst grift ever. If you want to be anti-woke, it's a terrible one because you lose opportunities, including...
I learned the hard way, bro. You can't go at social media with blunt force. You just can't. You just can't do that, guys. You can't do it with blunt force treatment. In order for you to have any significant, impact, you have to have a following first. And that's pretty hard to do right now on the internet. Especially in VTubing. Especially if you're a dude in VTubing. You want to know why I thank my lucky stars for all you? Because technically I'm defying the statistics in VTubing. I am not supposed to be a straight white dude getting this much representation from social media. Statistically speaking, I'm not supposed to. You guys are defying odds by even being viewers of mine. You're going against the grain. You're going against the very shit that Larry Fink started. And there are a lot more guys like me coming up in the VTuber scene than he wants to admit, if he knew anything about it. I know about John Money. Hope he's burning in hell. Yeah. The VTuber industry, guys, is 99.9% dominated by females. The fact that you are sitting here watching me donating money, donating subs, donating bits, you are defying the very thing Larry Fink set up. And that's how you start it. I don't mind being your voice against guys like Larry Fink or Dan Clancy. I don't mind doing that at all.
Wiener, 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 wiener,
Yep.
wiener, 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 wiener,
One
wiener,
wiener next to another wiener.
wiener, wiener,
Two wieners alongside yet another
wiener party, wiener party, party
There you go, Slider.
wiener party,
Wieners nice and soft, non-erect wieners.
flopping wieners, flopping
wieners,
dangle
wieners,
dangle
wieners.
The only thing that sucks about this chat is that Twitch gets a piece of what the hell you guys give me. The end goal, chat, the dream, is that I can set up a streaming platform strictly for VTubers. Nobody else. No IRL streamers. None of that bullshit. And I do it outside the realm of what fucking Fink wants. Bro, that song sends me every time. But they are. They're giant wieners. And they deserve to be ridiculed for what they do because evil people don't deserve generosity because they're fucking evil. And Fink is evil. That fucker is evil.
Including financially, which, you know, thank goodness I have you guys and your support, whether it's just watching videos or super chatting or showing up to streams and doing things like that. You've been able to help me out and make it so I don't have to rely on all of this sort of nonsense. But it has direct effects. What Larry Fink, BlackRock, and all these agenda pushers do, they have an impact on people personally, and they also have a pervasive cultural effect where there is right think and wrong think. And the sort of compass that's been directing millions of people has been pushing wokeness. And those who question it have been chastised. I mean, I remember even a couple years ago, people lost their jobs or got banned on social media or lost sponsorships for saying there's things like two genders, like there's only two genders. That was a thing that would literally have your life turned upside down only a few years ago. And people like Larry Fink want you to just forget that happened, even though they were the ones pushing this stuff harder than anyone else. Like I said when I started this video, what are my feelings? Well, it's all over the place. There's vindication, okay? My thoughts about all this has been vindicated. I know so many content creators who do what I do, who look at this and say, yup, we've been calling this out rightfully for years. And now you have the puppeteers coming out and saying, yep, this was a failed corporate experiment. That's vindicating. Well, on the other hand, it's deeply frustrating because the people who are doing this, they will not feel any sort of remorse.
Nope.
They don't feel bad about anything that's happened. They don't feel bad about the negative impacts on people's lives, even the violence that has been created because of these systems.
Rev is right. They did permanent damage to society. And it's irreversible. Look at what these guys do. Look at what started because of this. Seattle's completely destroyed because of this. There's no economic way to bring it back anymore. Oregon, same way. Look at Los Angeles. Palisades freaking burned to the ground because of it. Because all of these leftists fucking put that governor Newscomb in charge of everything. And he was for all of this. There's so many permanent things that cannot be undone because of this. And it's going to last a while. Just because he publicly admits it doesn't mean that these idiots want to let go of it, guys. Yeah, they do. They operate like a cult. And you know how you beat a cult? You stand up in their face and you tell them, nope, not going to happen. I have my common sense. You're not going to persuade me that this amount of stupid works. You got to educate yourselves, chat. You got to be better than them, morally. That's the only way to win. Pride people will be brainwashed after reading this. Let that sink in. That's exactly my point. You got people like Woolith and Nyara all over the internet passing this shit on like it means something. And every single time they get called out for the little pedo crap that they do, what do we get? We get a whole bunch of freaking leftist people that are part of the alphabet mafia, and they sit there and they slander us. They threaten us. Literally. Just by telling Nyara that you're a dude, guy. You're not asexual. You didn't get screwed over by genetics. You are a dude that cross-dresses as a chick. That is what you are. But no. You got idiots like Nyara and Woolith walking around the earth that scorn everybody who can believe in common sense and science. And Rev's right. We're going to continue taking it because now they're literally blue-pilled. They can't come back. Map isn't real, they scream, even as the cases pile up and show, and we show them the archived TED Talk. I know. It's like Rev said, there's a bunch of useful idiots in the world. And the only way to counterbalance that is to educate yourself and be smarter than them. Or you could do what DJ does and just face all these liberal fucking teachers every day and counteract their points. It's literally it. You gotta have common sense, guys. You gotta have a moral center, and you gotta have common sense. That's the way you fix this problem. The thing that Fink is having an issue with right now is that too many people woke up to common sense one day, and we voted in Trump, and now he's watching his investments start to shatter, which is why he's doing this. He's doing this because he's actively losing money. Because less companies now are investing in him. So he's only doing this because he's an evil fucking wacko that has less money now. And that's what makes you guys my friends. We love you too, Lumi.
Systems, they don't care. And the people who have been useful idiots throughout all of this, they're not going to look in the mirror. They're going to ignore this. In fact, they'll probably call this propaganda, like alt-right propaganda or something, to justify how stupid they are.
How much do you guys want to bet Hassan's going to have a clip floating around the internet saying that it's poor or full-on hog propaganda? Anybody want to put money on that? Anybody? Cody, you know what I hate? When people's incomes work are held at ransom because of HR training videos telling you to give into sexual delusions and affirm behaviors that go against my faith. If you don't give in, they say goodbye to your income, making me sick. Yeah, well, that's today's world, Iron. You gotta face it, not run from it. $100? He'll blame Israel? Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's gonna say something about it. And I bet you Asmongold's gonna get ripped into it. Hassan's going to blame people who follow Asmongold, and he's going to blame Israel, even though fucking Fink isn't even a 10th Jewish. He's just a greedy, white, communist little fuckface. But, hey. It's what Google and all of these top freaking companies allowed to happen. They all invested in BlackRock because Biden made it popular. So when you go and vote, don't vote for somebody that's got invested interest in BlackRock. Literally. Don't vote for it. He's definitely going to say something about Israel somehow. Ugh, you guys are right. Fucking disheartens me so much that you guys are right.
They are. And how much they've been used over the years by billionaires like this. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I know there was a lot going on there, so please share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Chat, go over to Rev, give him a thumbs up on the video, show that you guys like it and support it, okay? Rev is Kamiyoshi around here, and we have all much due respect for Rev. He's been a long-time guy who's been getting assaulted by these people verbally on the internet. He's taken shit from bigger people, and he still stood his ground. So what does that tell you you need to do? You need to stand your ground on the internet. Don't be violent about it. Just stand your ground and tell them that you're not going to move. And that's how we fix this problem.